Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be creating another grungy art journal page in my 8x8 journal, but I'm also going to be testing out a brand new stencil. So I'm working in one of the last few remaining sheets in my little 8x8 journal. So again, I'm going to be doing a kind of grungy background because we like grunge. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors just to scratch up the edges of this piece of craft cardstock that I've got. There we go. Oh, there you go. That doesn't matter. It's torn a bit. That's fine. Don't mind creating a bit of fluff on the cardstock. So this is going to be the base. A substrate, if you like, that I'm going to be working on. And then when I built all the layers and I did all my colours and things, then I'll just sweep that onto the floor, leave it for the cleaner. Then I'm going to stick it down into the journal like so. So we actually can put the journal to one side. So what I want to do is I've got some book text papers that I'm going to just tear and cover into that background. All random like, nothing precise, nothing perfect. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of a brown craft border. That's satisfying, isn't it? Is that what they call ASMR? So that's going to go in there, and then I'm going to stick that one in like there. There we go. That can just go in as it is. And then I've got another piece here that I'm just going to tear across the middle. Not that you're actually going to see this too much because I've got a focal point that's going to be kind of in there, but I just wanted to break it up just a tad. Yeah, maybe something like that. So that's kind of, let me just move my mat so it's a bit more even. There we go. That's the OCD in me. So I just want to glue these down just using ordinary PVA because I don't want them to be glued perfectly down. I just want a little bit in the middle because I want the paper, or if the paper curls, let's just say that, if the paper curls up, then that's fine. So much the better. I have been known in the past to actually hold my heat gun on the paper as well until it burns. Not sets fire, but just goes brown, because that's kind of like the aged old kind of effect that I was kind of going for. That'll do. No, I'm not going to use that piece because I just realised it has an offensive word on it. Let's use this one instead. You've got to be careful when using dictionaries and that kind of stuff to make sure that you're not adding offensive words, or words that are now classed as being offensive, but possibly weren't when the dictionary was first published. Oh dear me, I'm glad I spotted that one. That could have landed me in lots and lots of trouble. Right, okay, so let me just grab a mat and just throw this down on there. This is just a heat resistant mat. It's Teflon. It's not waterproof. So any moisture is just going to go straight through this, which is just, I know, it's a pain in the bum, but it is what it is. So I want some gesso, white. Is that not focused properly? Why is it my phone keeps moving on its own? Every time I press that, it just kind of jump. But anyway, right, so white gesso. And I'm just going to scrape this kind of stuff on. This is what I mean about not worrying too much about whether it pulls up or... I just want to scrape it on. I could use texture paste on this, but I don't want to. Not today anyway. Let's just grab something down there. My focal point is going to go down here. So I like the unevenness of it, so that'll do for that. Real messy kind of grungy page today. Right, just grab a wet wipe. The whole thing's just come out of the packet. Never mind. Never mind. There we go. Just give that a bit of a clean. All right, so I'm going to get my heat gun on, which for some reason it isn't plugged in. What? Oh, yeah, I know why. That's because I was working in the kitchen this weekend on the dining room table. Or the kitchen table. Since we don't have the dining room. There we go. That's a good test. Okay, so it has curled a little bit, it has bowed slightly, but I'm going to do it so that it's fairly kind of even. Let's grab another sheet of scratch paper and just drop that down there. Right, so what I want to do is I'm going to now just give it a spritz of water, just using one of these pump kind of action things. Just a nice little thin squeeze of water. And then I've got some Distress Oxide spray. Now I'm hoping the pump on this is still going to work. There we go. That's the ticket. That's what I want. So I want a nice kind of spritz of that yellow down. I'm going to give that a second or two just to kind of settle, and then I'm going to get the heat gun on it and give it a little bit of a dry. This stuff gets absolutely everywhere, no matter how you try and control it. It'll just do what it wants and goes everywhere. Okay, so let me get that dried off. So I've got all that fossilised amber. Is it fossilised? It is fossilised amber, yeah. All dry. As you can see, it has reacted. It has dyed back. There's a little bit of that colour that's dyed back. So the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to add in some orange. So this is spiced marmalade. So again, I'm hoping that it's going to work, but I'm also going to introduce a brand new stencil today. So this one is called Radiate. So I'm just going to lay it down. Actually, let me get that corner. That's better. It's sticking up too much. So I'm going to say about there. And I'm going to, just from a height, I did give it a shake. There we go. I'm just going to give it a blast through that stencil. And then quickly just lift it off. And then I'm going to go and wash it really, really quickly. So I'll be right back. So I just dropped the stencil into some water, give it a quick wipe over and a clean. So as I was saying, this is called Radiate. And this is going to be one of my releases for the month of March. So you're getting a sneak preview. Right, let me just get this dried off and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're all cleaned up and tidy. So I'll just give that a little bit of a tweak so it stays a little bit flatter. So I'm coming back in this time with the stencil and I'm going to kind of line it up just with that top right hand corner. I've got some stays on ink here. This is called Saint Valentine, so it's a red. So red's going to be our main kind of colour on this one. So I'm going to just work my way out. Using this stencil. Ooh. And of course it moved. I'll just turn it around. So I'm using the solvent-based ink because it won't react with that distress underneath. So I'll just fade that round there. So we've now got that kind of what's the reason why I call it Radiate, that spark, that circle radiating from that central point there. Okay, so again, I'm going to get this dried off and then I'll be right back, and also I'll get this stencil cleaned up. I'm going to have to use some kind of alcohol-based solution to clean this off because obviously it's an oil-based ink. Okay, back in a moment. So everything's now dry, so I want to just add a little bit of the darkness from the writing in the newspaper, the dictionary pages, the book text. From the background, I want to bring that just to the foreground a little bit. And just to do that, I'm just going to add a few splatters. Not a huge amount, but just a few. So I'm just going to grab a small fan brush. There we go. A little bit of water on that piece of paper. That should do. Just enough, just to mix up. That'll do. It's just a tiny amount. Don't need a lot at all. It's just a suggestion, a hint, a taste, if you like. There we go. A soupçon of splatters. A bit like adding salt to a meal, just to taste. Okay, so the next step is just to add a bit more dirt and a bit more grunge. So I've got some ground espresso, and I'm just going to go around the edge of the actual page that I'm going to stick down, just to add a little bit of a darker kind of frame around that bit. And if you add the darker frame, it does help those colours pop on the inside of the page when you've got that darker frame. So while I've got the espresso out, I'm going to bring in my main focal image, which is this line drawing of a chap with closely cropped hair, which I did using or created it using one of those artificial intelligence image websites. I just wanted a black and white line drawing of a chap with not necessarily a shaved head, but with really close cropped hair, because I wanted that to be able to sit on the page where that radiation is, so it's coming out from his head. So I'm just going to line it up with about that there. And I like the fact that there's that pop of colour or pop of white in the front. So I'm just going to flip that over and grab some glue. Okay. So I know there's a big debate with people at the moment with about artificial intelligence generated images, but like everything has its place. Oh, look, I've got some ink on my hands. Yeah, it doesn't matter, that's all right, it will lift off if I dab it. It'll just fade away, but that's okay. I don't mind there being a little bit of yellow on that main focal image. Right, so like I said, my hands are filthy, absolutely filthy. Let's get that dried off. So I'll weight it down so that there's something just to keep it in place, and then I'll be back when that's nice and dry. While that's drying, I've got my quote. So I'm just going to go around the edges, just using the same ground espresso, just to add just a little bit of pop. Just nice and gentle on the edges. And of course, the final piece. So did the quote come from the stencil, or did the stencil come from the quote? I don't know. Even creation of stuff like that is a mystery to me, and I'm the one that does it. Right, it's a tiny little bit of glue. And then we'll add that down here. Again, so as I was saying earlier about how I managed to get yellow on there, where's that come from? And I've still got some on my fingers, but how I managed to get it on there? It's only just been, oh, I don't know. This is the thing we use in these Tim Holtz kind of oxides and distress inks. They're so water reactive that if you get any on your hands, even the mere moisture from your hands is enough to reactivate them. Excuse the squeakiness of my chair. As I was saying, yes, artificially intelligence created or artificially intelligent creation images have their place just as any kind of other imagery in art journal pages. In my mind anyway, they're no different to going to a magazine and cutting something out of a magazine and then sticking it down. The only difference being with artificial intelligence or the AI generated images is that you can tell it what you want. You don't have to go scouring for the right picture. You can actually just say to the machine, give me, you know, a picture of a man's face and head in profile with very short hair. And it will do it. And you can even tell it what style you want it in as well. So I asked for an ink and pencil drawing, and that's exactly what it gave me. So yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. And I like the fact that the white pops against the yellow, the oranges and the reds in that background too. So yes, I'm very happy with the way that's turned out. So all I need to do now is to get it stuck into my journal. So I'll just flip that over, get the glue. Maybe I should have used something which is a bit stronger, had more initial grab, but that's okay. I can always weight this down anyway. But I like the fact that it's textured and layered and not flat. There we go. So again, I'll get something heavy to weigh this down so that it doesn't move. There's a reason I have all these heavy pots around. I'm just infill with the smaller ones. That'll do. Right, let's get that working as well. Okay, I'll be back when that's stuck down and grabbed. It's been a few minutes, so that is now kind of stuck down and held down. So all I have to do now is just to come in and add my signature and today's date, which I think is the 20th today. There we go. I'm happy with that. I don't want to add anything else to it. I did toy with the idea of adding some stamping, but do you know what? Sometimes knowing when to step back and say, actually, you know, I'm happy with the way it looks. When you're creating art journal pages like this, if you're tempted to keep on adding more and more and more, usually there's something missing, and that's what your gut instinct is, to add something else. But sometimes as well, your gut instinct says, stop, step away from it, don't touch anything else. And that's when you should step away from it and just leave it. You can always come back to it at a later date and add more once you've thought about it. But for the moment, I'm kind of happy with that. I could outline all those, the red kind of rays, but I don't want to just yet. I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to do it just yet because I may find that it does actually spoil it, but I'm just going to leave it for now. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up because it really does help me to spread the word about my YouTube channel to those that might not have yet found me. So please hit that thumbs up. And don't forget, you can also share the video with your friends if you want to. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, I'm falling over my own words now. I mean, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video for more videos like this one. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.